have men like you have run away from home. Men like you have left your own countries. What is this that you are doing in South Africa?
President Nana Akufo-Addo, he strictly said in a public domain that we are coming after you as foreign national. We are going to clamp down to all foreigners.
So the 30th of June was projected as a cleansing of Africans in our country by all means necessary, including violence.
The ones that are giving us a proper problem are still refusing to leave, which is the likes of the Nigerians, the Somalians, Ethiopians, the Pakistanis.
They did not ask us, why are you not fighting in your own countries and defeat your enemy?
People are selling veggies and stuff. South African people are too lazy to do all those things. Foreigners can help us.
So now some South Africans are accusing the president of South Africa, that's Ramaphosa, that he is aware and he is involved in whatever that is going on in South Africa right now, because he is part of the people that actually orchestrated all of these things that is going on in South Africa. It is some South Africans that are saying this, and I have the videos to show you. Also, Jacinta was interviewed on an Australian TV platform, and she was interviewed and she has said certain things. I don't want to talk much. Also, I have other videos for you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the video, watch, come back and talk.
President Nana Akufo-Addo, he strictly said in a public domain that we are coming after you as foreign national. We are going to clamp down to all foreigners. What does that statement say to a lay person on the ground? It simply says that foreigners are not allowed. They need to be clamped down. And how do you clamp down? You then attack, and then xenophobia start.
So, but you heard the brother said what? He said that the president declared to clear all the foreign nations, which that brings what? War, isn't it? Isn't it? It brings war. I mean, like, if now like the president is gonna tell me that now we need to clear all the foreigners out, the only thing that's gonna come in my mind is that I need to self-defense myself. Which means when your brother's gonna pull up in my house and try to attack me, definitely I'm gonna kill him.
Our political leadership are the very great cause of xenophobia, because in many cases they will go out and say, in our clinics we can't deliver services in clinics because we are overburdened by migrants. We can't deliver RDP houses because we are overburdened by migrants. We can't deliver basic education which is quality because our schools are full of migrants. But when you go to those schools, you only find 10, 13, 15 people, and the rest are South Africans. And when such kind of report comes out to the lay person who is unemployed, sitting at home, not getting a job, that person will definitely say, no, I have to attack, I need to chase, I need to hate this person who's making my life very difficult, because a certain prominent leader has said some sentiment which are totally unacceptable. Because I mean, really, if we are in Africa, you cannot be telling that you cannot deliver basic quality education because there is someone from Zimbabwe who's studying in that primary school. Most of our leaders and most of our community members, they talk about people being documented, people to access permits, people to access asylum seeker status or refugee status. But the very same people who are saying that, they don't have an idea how difficult it is to access just a particular asylum seeker status in South Africa. Currently, in the whole of 54 million population of South Africa, we only have 3 refugee reception offices that deals with asylum seeker and refugees.
And how many asylum seekers and refugees are in the country registered?
Currently, when you look for those statistics from Department of Home Affairs, they don't have it, which is another critical component, because currently our asylum seeker system at the Department of Home Affairs, because of corruption, it's in tatters, it's in shambles, it's not even effective. And then we on the ground, we then say people should get documentation. From where? Because if you look, when you go to Marabastad, a refugee reception office is not far from here in Pretoria, to access an asylum seeker permit, if you don't have money, you won't get that permit, and the permit is meant to be free.
The government is behind this thing. There is no way. But I was watching another video. And you want to tell me who the South African government is not part? There is part. In another case, the police are in Sibuela home. A policeman. The estate but the fact that police are participating in this, it tells you the government of the Republic of South Africa, it is part The government of South Africa, it is part and parcel. Yeah, Africa is at
a stage of collapse because men like you have run away from home. Men like you have left your own countries. What is this that you are doing in South Africa? Why will you come and sell this in our land? Why will you come and sell these things in our country? When are you going to fix your own countries? When are you going to fix your own countries, Africans? When are you going to face your own government? When are you going to build Africa? When are you going to build this continent? We are a laughing stock. The world is laughing at us. The world is laughing at Africa. Africa, go home. Go and fix your countries. Go and fix your countries. This cannot be correct. This cannot be correct. You people are collapsing this continent. You people are leaving African leaders to destroy your countries. Go home. Go and build your land. Go and face your government. What is it that you're doing here? Why will you want to come and migrate and collapse this continent? Who said we cannot build Africa? Who said we are not capable of building?
The trending topic in South Africa on where you stand. Uti mabahambe or mabahlale. What is your understanding and what would you want South Africans to do? Rebakube or badule?
According to my understanding, South Africans are complaining because of, they say, the foreigners take their jobs and whatsoever. But then my view is that the foreigners, we are all Africans. They must stay because, like, we need them. We help each other. For example, in the location where I come from, many people from the outside, many people are selling veggies and stuff. South African people are too lazy to do all those things. Foreigners can help us with things that we are lazy and ashamed to do. So yeah, I prefer that they stay.
Thank you very much.
Definitely not 3 million.
Okay, what about your marches? Are they having an impact?
Yes, they are having an impact in the sense that we reminded the government of the laws of the country where they've specified that people are not allowed to hire illegal immigrants, but a lot of employers have been getting away with it. So currently we're seeing a lot of them facing the will of the people, and they have no choice but to abide by the laws of the country because they can't be labeling us as lawless people, for example, for wanting the laws to be enforced. So we're seeing a lot of South Africans getting employed. Obviously, it's not enough, but also we're not happy. We're seeing a decline in the crime rate. We saw a number of them getting evacuated out of the country, but we're still not happy because the ones that are giving us a proper problem are still refusing to leave, which is the likes of the Nigerians, the Somalians, Ethiopians, the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis. Those are the ones that have given us a serious problem, and they have this sense of entitlement that somehow they should stay in the country by hook or by crook. So we're just hoping that we'll have a government that takes this seriously and enforces much stricter ways of getting them to leave the country.
There's criticism that the marches have been violent and have been unfairly targeting immigrants. What's your response to that?
Look, if they've been violent, I'm sure by now I would have been arrested. They know very well the marches have not been violent. In fact, the marches have relatively been peaceful given the number of people that the people come to the marches. I mean, it's unprecedented numbers, marches bigger than any we've seen in the country at all, with no buses being sent out to get people out. People are coming out generically because they feel like they're tired and they want to express themselves.
What about the media's coverage? Do you think this issue is being fairly reported in the media?
I think we've concluded that the media has already chosen a side, and we're happy with that. So we're going to be telling our own stories. That's what we've said, because I remember there was even an incident from one international journalist who came all the way from the USA. And when they arrived here, they came to the march, and, with South Africans, carrying sticks is actually part of a culture, which is the Zulu culture. It has nothing to do with beating people up or violence, because even at a wedding, that's what we carry. The men carry sticks. And the story turned around from it just being a protest to now it being people using sticks to like hunt down foreign nationals, which is absolutely not true. And even when you tried to correct them, they carried on with that idea or that propaganda that they was trying to spread. So we've had a lot of negative, coverage, and that's why the whole issue of the 30th of June was kind of like blown out of proportion and painted to be something it's not. But here we are, and still carrying on with the fight against this invasion that our country is facing.
What about you? How did you go from being a radio presenter to the founder of March and March?
It wasn't easy, to be honest with you. I think it was exactly my radio, career that led me to this, because hearing people's stories and many of them sharing at how they've been let down by the law when it comes to the issue of someone who's in the country legally and they can't find them, or they are here, but the police are, not willing to move or support their call for that person to be charged or arrested or investigated at least. So there was a lot of issues that, were ending up hurting me when it came to the issue of how South Africans felt like second-class citizens in their own country. And on top of that, there was like a television show which we were watching every single Sunday, like a series of shows where from one show they were just drug dealers. It's called Sizoptola. It's always on our shows on our screens every Sunday. And then from there it was another show, Vuga, where people are just like going around exposing all these crimes that people are committing in the country, and they're not South Africans. And week after week, it would be people coming back from outside of South Africa, but sometimes you'd see the same offenders coming back because of our criminal justice system. So it was just a transition that had to happen, I feel, because, as a South African and as someone who's concerned about the future of this country, I could see that there's no future left for a South African anymore.
How do you feel about the future now, and will the marches continue?
I feel a little bit more hopeful knowing that South Africans now are standing up for themselves, and they're ready to defend their country at all costs. I think it's a bit safer for me to feel a bit of comfort. We're not there yet, but at least it's getting there. And then, the marches are definitely going to be continuing because our government has, as I said, made promises, but to date, we haven't seen those promises yield any results, or we don't see a potential of them yielding results at that, because the things that they have suggested are possible, but there is no means for them to happen. Because we want a border gate, for example. We don't have a mere border gate in the country. Wow. And on top of that, there's other neighboring countries who are having economic collapses from all the way from 2008. So all their citizens are just comfortable to just walk in, cross the river and come here and start life, And it can't be, we can't maintain that. Our hospitals are overcrowded, our schools are overcrowded, buildings are overcrowded. So we demand border walls, and we demand that the government of this country also talks to the other governments of their neighboring countries to also make sure that they give their people the resources that they deserve. Currently in Zimbabwe, there's a gentleman who's been arrested all because he planned a protest to speak about the issues that they face as Zimbabweans. And nobody's making any noise about it. Our government is quiet about it. You can't be having citizens arrested just because they want to make their voices heard, because the natural effects of that is that those citizens end up collapsing their own countries to come to ours. And it can't be a workable and sustainable model.
They did not ask us, why are you not fighting in your own countries and defeat your enemy? Why are you running away? But many of us were not running away. We're going to prepare ourselves to come back and fight. At times they arrested us when we're trying to come back with our weapons and everything. And a few countries perhaps did take us to court, but many never. They understood the problem we're in. They sympathized with us. We did everything
Not so easy to arrest me.
No. What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
No, I don't understand. Are you coming to buy butternuts? What are you doing on my farm?
I was explaining.
Do you want butternuts to buy?
I was explaining to you. You stopped me from explaining.
Okay, I'll listen.
Yes. I'm with the SAPS. I'm with the SAPS. I'm also with the labor inspectors, with the Department of Home Affairs. There are a few things that we're checking.
You're welcome.
The employment of illegal foreigners is one of them.
Yes.
The second one is compliance with labor legislation.
Yes.
And obviously the Department of Home Affairs is going to check documentation. The part that we've already realized from the employees on just short interview is that they're seriously underpaid.
Okay.
Over 9 hours, the payment just over 30 rands per day. They are paid 140 per day, which is almost half of what they are due to be paid. Okay. The second one is you can see they are not on protective clothing, no PPE whatsoever.
Sorry, just 1 second. Kan jy vir Susan afvat, laat sy vir ons die verkoper kan hanteer? Vat haar gou af en kom hier terug. Baie dankie, Susan. Sorry.
The second part is that you can see they are not on PPE.
What do you call it?
Protective clothing.
PPE.
Protective clothing.
Okay.
Yeah, they are wearing private clothes when they are supposed to be on protective clothing.
Okay.
Yeah, so for now, our inspectors are still doing the work.
Now let them continue.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's give them some chance.
We appreciate it.
If you can just, as fast as possible, that we can go back to work.
No problem. We are doing it, but we're also noting that about 11 alleged illegal immigrants.
Yeah, on my farm, everybody's got IDs.
They apparently 11 ran into the bushes. They were tipped off when we entered the gate, and they ran out.
11?
Yeah, 11 of them.
I've got IDs for all the people that work for me.
We're going to look into it.
You're welcome.
And we'll inform you once.
You're more than welcome. All right, take your time.
Thank you very much.
The South African government, led by the President of the Republic, have been in the forefront in sending envoys to different countries to brief them about the situation at home. Because what was projected, and which is what is out there, and it doesn't start now, were even condemned by the United Nations when it was projected that people have been beaten up in South Africa and that they have been chased away and all of that, and some people died. Remember, at some point you guys reported that a Mozambican national died somewhere in the Eastern Cape or Western Cape, somewhere there. And then that in South Africa we are killing foreigners of African descent, and there's war. And these people who are marching, when they started, that's how they caught the attention, mobilizing and beating up people. It changed over time when generally churches and broader civil society condemned this vigilantism. And the language and the approach these marchers were taking then began to change. Now, there's no one in a state like ours, where the rule of law runs supreme, can actually take the law into their own hands and do what was projected to be coming. So the 30th of June was projected as a cleansing of Africans in our country by all means necessary, including violence, including killing. We started seeing people marching with knobkiris and all of that. And then we as the ANC have been very consistent. We say that this thing that is being done by these people, it must not be celebrated. It must be condemned and discouraged. And the law must intervene. Because we knew that from the days of apartheid, this thing of ethnic wars and tribal wars, what they did in the mines, when our people were made to speak Fanagaloko, Sutus fighting with the Xhosas, and all of that, and when people came to Johannesburg to work in the mines, and all of that, because those among them were captured for cheap labor. And majority of our people were basically isolated from these mines. And foreigners were being protected and being prepared and armed to attack some of the South Africans in these mines. It has evolved over time. And South Africa is not only a signatory, but we have fought a brutal system of apartheid and defeated it, which is a system of hatred and all of that. And then we kept on cautioning, don't call our African brothers amakwirikwiri. Yumasikela speaks to us from the grave. Yekela ukubiza abanye abantu ngakuthi ngamakirimani nabo ngabantu. Nothing wrong raising your ire about the fact that illegal immigration have taken over Hillbrow. Majority of the people who are there and the buildings around us here and all of that in Johannesburg belong to some people we don't know. And majority of people who occupy those buildings are undocumented. The state must intervene and clean out. And that is what has been undertaken by an interministerial committee to deal with these particular issues. So we have never been a nation that will embrace things like xenophobia, because we come from a history of racism. Xenophobia is a form of hatred, against another human being. Singabantu bobuntu, which is the truth. What a single provocateur does in the streets of Johannesburg does not represent millions of South Africans in our country. By beating up people, chasing people, becoming an agent provocateur, and doing all sorts of things. And these are the things that we have condemned. And we are very clear that there are other countries in the African continent who were quick to rush that this deserves attention and South Africa must be isolated and all of that. Businesses of South Africa and the South Africans working in the African continent. There are people who are naive who think that South Africa does not do business with the rest of the continent, and there are no South Africans who are working in the African continent. That's not naivety. That's absolute, disaster for any individual, because you have closed yourself from the rest of the continent by thinking that this country of ours can exist outside Africa when we are in Africa ourselves. So the government of South Africa have undertaken a mission to brief different countries, and others we know have gone as far as targeting Al-Amin summit of the African Union to make a case against South Africa. And that is why, as the ANC, we have worked on this immigration compact that seeks to intervene in law, but at the same time to define this immigration matter which we place before you, and we say it requires our discussion and enrichment as to what then makes this. It's not only a South African phenomenon, it's global, it's African. People come here to South Africa for a reason, in their numbers, because they run away from their countries. Others genuinely from political conflict, which they are covered by Geneva Convention in terms of how you deal with refugees and all of that. But others are coming here because they are looking for greener pastures. And unfortunately, they are doing that in an unlawful manner because of our porous borders. They come through and then they settle in our country. And whenever they do things, including criminality, we can't find them in the system. Now, you cannot go and settle in another country, create a drug den, and sell drugs and cocaine, and at the same time the neighborhood just watches on. Some point people are going to explode against that. Unfortunately, some of the illegal immigrants in South Africa, this is what they do. And we're not talking theory here, because we have dealt with these cases, and that is why we say dismantle these drug cartels and drug dens in our communities and all of that. And those who are found to be not properly documented must then be properly, in a dignified manner, channeled to go back home. And that is what has happened. More than 70,000 of undocumented illegal immigrants have been taken to their different countries. So these issues need to be clarified. Even with Nigeria, a biggest economy in the African continent. So special envoys have been doing that particular work, including Minister Lamula, which I saw in the media that earlier on it was reported that they were chased because we live in the era of disinformation. By that time, I knew there is no such a thing because Lamula had gone to Nigeria and probably came back last night on the same day, in the morning, early hours of the morning, and came back late. But it was reported in social media that they've been chased away, which was not correct.
You see, some time ago, I shared a video here, and the video was the president of South Africa when he was campaigning. One of his campaign message was that he is going to drive away the foreigners, especially the Africans that have basically taken over South Africa and have shops, the spaza shops and all of these things. These are words that came out of the South African president. These are words that actually came out from the South African president. So if these people are saying the South African president is involved, I will not be surprised, honestly, because I shared a video here when he was campaigning. That was part, and I don't even understand. This was part of your campaign message, and you come out again, stand in front of African leaders, especially in the Pan-African Parliament, and say, "Oh, Africans should unite. We should open borders. We should do this," and you campaign against. Like, bro, listen, I am saying every African living in South Africa, so far as these leaders are part of some of these things, you will never win. The best thing is for you to just leave. If you can gather your stuffs, move from there to maybe a close by country or whatever, just go. Honestly, just go and set up your business there, and I'm very sure God is going to help you to thrive. This is the advice that I'll give, honestly, because I don't see the reason why, the way things are going and the way some of these people that are involved in this thing, they are walking freely, nothing is being done to them. Listen, just leave. That's the best advice that I can give. Just leave. Thank you so much for watching.